Hello, hello, community. Happy Thursday to all of you. Welcome to today's community session. Welcome to this beautiful Thursday. As always, we're always looking forward to these events. It's always a delight to have these dialogues with you, have these sessions with you. We're always looking forward to these events. For those that are able to make it today, welcome to all of you. Really looking forward to go through this session today as we have a lot to unpack. And as the topic already gave it away, it's to embrace the most epic bull run yet. Oftentimes we speak about this, but we really have not really looked at it in details, like what does it really mean and how will it achieve that? What makes it so special? You know, what makes it stand out? So in today's session, we're going to underline and highlight these individual events and circumstances that are different compared to the last bull run cycle, and what makes this cycle to be epic, and we should embrace it, and really how we should look forward for it and how we should prepare for it. So this is what this session will be all about today, and we're going to look at these points in more details in today's session. So once more, welcome. Happy Thursday to you and your families. I hope you and yours are well and in good health. Those that are able to make it today, I want to welcome you and recognize you, appreciate you as always. And then once we've gone through the welcoming stage, we'll get straight to the point as we have some quite a bit to cover today. And then I will come full circle back to you again. And then we'll be able to check with you whether you have any follow-up questions or anything that you want us to discuss in details. And then, of course, today is day 73, community. What a milestone. 73 days of dedication, of commitment, of consistency, of putting the word out on Twitter space, on Twitter, and just putting a lot of, bringing a lot of awareness to our ecosystem, to our industry as a whole. There is no better time to really do that. So I just want to commend all of you for being so consistent, vigilant, and putting all this effort in to make this a success. Day 73. So today, right as we are still discussing today's session, as we're closing, we'll be participating in day 73 Twitter challenge as well. So with that said, let me not lose more time. Let's get right to it. Let me welcome you, appreciate you, those that are able to make it here with us live. And for those that will be watching it later on, welcome to you as well. And we hope this session will be of benefit to you, as our major aim is always to inform, educate, and inspire you. And that's what we always aim and strive to do. With that said, let me acknowledge you, community, those that were able to make it today. None other than my great brother, Theo. Greetings, my great brother, Steve. Greetings, dearest Queen, Mama Wino. And greetings to my epic Bull Run family. Let's make this live stream one to remember. Let's go. Beautifully said, great brother, Theo. Always a pleasure seeing you in the community. Your positive energy is contagious. It's always a pleasure having you here. Thank you for your presence, your commitment, your consistency. Your leadership is highly, highly, highly appreciated. My great brother Demo is here as well. How are you doing, my brother? Great day, my brother and community. I'm ready for another epic session. Let's go. So are we. Always a pleasure having you here. Thank you for the beautiful videos you made as well and shared with the community. We appreciate your effort, your leadership, your consistency. You're very much appreciated, great brother. We have Queen Grace here as well. Welcome, Queen Grace. It's always a pleasure seeing you and having you in the community. Much greetings and love, our brother Steve and our mom Awino. We cannot thank you enough for this great opportunity given freely to us. I'm excited to hear from you, Mr. Steve, again today. Thank you very much for your kind and welcoming words. Welcome to you as well. Always a pleasure having you here. Thank you for your consistency, for your leadership, and for always being so active in the community. And you're very much appreciated as well, Queen Grace. We have Queen Goleba here as well. Welcome, Queen Goleba. More greeting, bull runners. globally. Here is another day. Thanks, Mr. Steve, for your effort and dedication. You are just as much appreciated. We appreciate you all as well, Queen Grace and Queen Goliba and Queen Martha, those that are often also participating in the Zooms. These are the queens that are on a daily basis. You'll find them on Zooms, ready and willing and able to assist with any technical difficulties or onboarding new members, doing a presentation about the ecosystem. These are the queens that really make it happen and keep our ecosystem educated, informed, and inspired. So always a pleasure having you around, Queen Goliba. Thank you for your participation, for your leadership, and for your attendance. Queen Martha is also one of the queens, like I mentioned, that are always present in the Zoom on a daily basis, educating, informing, and inspiring the community, onboarding newcomers by doing presentations and welcoming them. Good evening, BULLRUN family. I'm looking forward to this session of Epic BULLRUN yet. Thank you very much. We are also looking forward to these. Always a pleasure having you in the community. Thank you for your consistency and for your leadership as well. We have Queen Val here as well. Hello, family. Hello, Mr. Steve. Warm greetings to our Queen, Mother Wino. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday back to you as well. Always a pleasure seeing you in the community. You as well, thank you for your efforts, your consistency in the Zooms, with the banners, and the VCs. You're all very much appreciated for your efforts, your consistency. Thank you for all that you do and you contribute to the community. Queen Nancy, always a pleasure having you here as well. Thank you for your presence, for your encouragement, for your activities as well within the BULLRUN ecosystem. Good evening, Steve. Hello, BRL community. Happy Thursday, everyone. It's great to be a part of this community. Let's go BULLRUN. So it's a pleasure having you here as well, Queen Nancy. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your positive energy as well. Then we have the one and only, the great one, the undisputed, my great brother Thembi. Always nice having you here as well in the community. Thank you for your leadership and your presence, your consistency. It's very much appreciated, great brother. Greetings to our great Mr. Steve and Mama Wino, and to the amazing BULLRUN Life family, getting ready to level up. Yes, so are we all. We are all ready. We are all ready to level up. Thank you so much, my great brother Thembi. Always a pleasure seeing you. None other than my great brother Cryptorizer, the one and only. Hello, BULLRUN family. I'm excited for another epic live stream with our brilliant Steve. This is the perfect time to ask any questions you might have. Let's go. Absolutely. Well said. These sessions serve for that, you know. These sessions serve to ask questions, clarify things, and just level up, like my brother Thembi said, and like my brother Cryptorizer said. These are the occasions to do just that, you know. And the aim is always to keep the community informed and educated. It's very important. So yes, keep that in mind. You can always feel free to ask. These are the platforms for that. We have Queen Mother Wino herself in the building. Thank you so much, Mom, for your presence. Greetings, family. Hello, Steve. Looking forward to another educational and informative session as always. Thank you all, bull runners and survivor queens, for tuning in. It's such a pleasure. We thank you for your leadership, your kindness, your encouragement, your support, your diligence, your consistency, and all the love that you show to us all. You are very much appreciated, Mom. And then, of course, here we have Queen Val saying to the new members, join the community. We have the BULLRUN Telegram is there. We have BULLRUN website as well. Thank you, Queen Val, for highlighting these. Of course, we have the same for Killer Whale as well. As you see, join the community in case you're not part of the community yet. If anything, for the education, for the positive vibration and energies that we have a vibrant community that filled with different experiences, ones that have been through the cycles yet, and new ones as well. It's if just about the social effect, and if it's just about the education part, feel free to join. We have also here the survivor is here as well. So these are the Telegram groups you can join and do your own research on these websites as well. Thank you, Queen Val, for putting these up. We have Queen Margaret here as well. Always a pleasure seeing you in the community. Queen Margaret, hello community. I'm happy to see you all here. Greetings to Mama, Queen Awino, and my brother Steve. Greetings back to you as well, Queen Margaret. Always a pleasure seeing you here. Thank you also for your leadership, your support, your consistency, and always a pleasure seeing you in the community. Then we have Queen Cozy here as well. She says, greetings everyone, hoping all the BULLRUN family is well. Our lives are being transformed in each and every session. Such a pleasure having you in the community, Queen Cozy. Thank you also for your presence, your consistency, your leadership. Very much appreciated. Always a pleasure having you in the community. And thank you all for taking your time and showing up today's session and making it another success on this beautiful day 73 of our Twitter challenge. Of course, it doesn't go unnoticed. My great brother Glenn as well. It's a pleasure seeing you here, my great brother Glenn. He says, let's go. And always a pleasure having you around, my great brother Glenn. So with that said, community, let's get straight to the today's session. Once more, welcome to all of you that were able to make it today. Bear with me as I'm sharing my screen so we can get this going. Beautiful. So like the title gave it away today, embrace the most epic bull run yet. We often talk about how epic this bull run is going to be, how different it's going to be, how it will be setting itself apart from the previous bull runs. Now it's time to really look under the hood and really highlight what specifically sets us apart from the last bull run, and what can we expect, in this upcoming bull run. And this is today's topic today. We want to really clarify some things, look at things in detail, and this is very important. And as always, to kickstart, you always have to kickstart with something major. This is an opportunity that we get, and such opportunities don't come often, as we understand that not every year you experience such a huge evolution and cutting edge technologies and so many things happening at the same time. So such things need to be taken advantage of. And I can't be stressed enough that today's session is very important, and it will highlight all of that. We won't spend a lot of time on this page as we are following it. We're up close to 2% for the last 24 hours. Bitcoin is back closing in on 71,000. As you see, Ethereum is also closing back in on 3,600. It's at 3,562 right now. And other altcoins also are doing fairly well. The market is going sideways so far, but if we look at the greed in the indicator, it's at 81, so it's still greedy. So this is what we can expect. There's a lot still coming ahead of us that we'll also discuss as we move along throughout this session today. And so a lot of things are still uncertain, but step by step, as these upcoming weeks, we will be looking at them. And one of them is certain. We even have a countdown clock here. It's the Bitcoin halving that is coming. Keep in mind, this has been anticipated. This is the fourth Bitcoin halving now. We know to the day, down to the second when this will happen. So these are all factored in, priced in already in all this bull run anticipation. So this is one of the items that we can anticipate. In 3 weeks, we'll be there. So 21 days still ahead of us. And this is one of the first things that we can anticipate next month. So with that said, community, let's get right into it. And this is what we want to kickstart with. In order for us to really lay the groundwork for this session today and understand what we can anticipate this upcoming bull run and what makes it really epic, and we should really embrace this most epic bull run yet, we need to first of all understand and lay some groundwork and fundamentals on which we can build upon throughout this session. Currently, we are in a fiat system that is debt-driven, and that is inflationary. And the only way to trigger this market is through interest rates. This is why last week the world was in anticipation and looking forward to was looking forward to what's coming ahead of us. So last week, the first central banks already started cutting interest rates, and this is needed this is the only way to trigger this cycle. These cycles are triggered through liquidity. When there is abundance of liquidity, this triggers the bull cycle. When there is lack thereof, it triggers the bear market. So liquidity plays a major role here, and this is why we are looking forward to the part where officially we'll be able to get the green light for it. So based on this financial system, the only way to get everything going is we need official green light by the Feds, and they need to cut the interest rates. Once they do that, the money printing needs to take place. And once that takes place, the real fiat currency is going to be flooded into the markets, and this will happen through the central banks. And once that happens, the real bull run is going to be triggered, because that's the only way that our fiat system works. Like we said, it's debt driven, so it needs to take up more debts. And this can only happen if the interest rates are cut. Currently, they're still relatively high compared to the last bull cycle. So this is what we need to look at. And these are just the fundamentals that we need to understand, and the groundwork we need to lay so that we can build on top of this. Now that we understand that we need interest rate cuts, we need liquidity to be flooded through fiat currencies, through central banks, into the industry, into the markets, and this will be done through the central banks. And once this happens, the real bull run is triggered because it takes liquidity. Compared to the last bull cycle, however, it was only driven by liquidity alone. That's the biggest difference. It was strictly by retail and liquidity. Keep in mind, we just had come out from a global pandemic. And as always, there's a saying in economy saying, never waste a crisis. You should never waste a crisis, a global crisis. So this is why also we often hear that in anticipation, there's still rumors out there that we might have, there's a possibility of a black swan event that we might still experience and might be needed, and to force the hands of the US Feds to really cut the interest rates ASAP and get this ball rolling, get the liquidity, the fiat currencies through the central banks running, so we can really get this bull run up and running. But let's not take our words for it. Let's verify, okay? Whatever we say now, let's verify these facts. And let's really find out how will this bull cycle be different from the last. So the first way we can do it is, and as you see here, why the 2024 bull run market will be the biggest, okay? This is today's topic. And we want to really highlight today what makes this difference and why will this be the biggest bull run. So to understand this, it's based on two things, like we just said. This just verifies it. It will take liquidity and technology to achieve that. And the irony here is that we've never experienced both at the same time. Last bull cycle, all we had was the liquidity. We were dealing with liquidity and retail alone. This time, it's completely different. Let's look at it clearly. So, noted that most central banks around the world are bent on printing more money as the best option to sustain global economic growth. This just confirms what we just said at the beginning. Based on our financial system, this is the only way and this is the only option to grow the economy, to trigger the economy. It takes liquidity, And to get the liquidity, we have to raise our debts, because it's a debt-driven financial system, monetary system. And once we raise up the debts, we can start printing money, and this will bring up, this will cause the money to enter the space, and this will cause inflation. This is why the Federal Reserves are still hesitant, because the inflation rate is already high. So they have to pick a perfect timing in order to do all that. But the bottom line remains, this is the only way. Okay, the way is central banks around the world need to start printing more money as the best option to sustain global economic growth. Now, once that happens, there will be what? More liquidity in the market than ever before. Period. This will be the largest liquidity event ever. And as we progress, we'll understand why. Reflecting on this, okay, one of these two factors, okay, liquidity of fiat currency and certain technologies of the ecosystem, has always been the reason for us to start a bull market. So one of these two has always been the reason to kickstart a bull market. One of them is liquidity of fiat currency and certain technologies in the ecosystem. But we have not yet encountered a bull market where both of these aspects appear at the same time. So this has not been the case, and this was not the case last bull cycle. We only had liquidity going, and it was run by retail. So this brings a whole new dimension now into play, and this is why once this happens, and this refers to the banks starting to print money, central banks start to print money, there will be more liquidity in the market than ever before, because now there's additional incentives in the market. Let's look at these incentives. In his opinion, the combination of excess liquidity flooding the market and the need to launch new financial solutions in both the crypto industry and the traditional space has the potential to trigger a massive bull run in 2024. So here we verified the fact that this cycle will be different, because it's not just either liquidity or technology. It is liquidity and technology. And this will usher in a lot of liquidity into the market, more than ever before. And this excess liquidity flooding the markets and the need to launch new financial solutions in the crypto space and the traditional market will trigger a massive bull run in 2024. Let's not trust this. Let's verify. Let's look at another article. So let's verify all this that we've gathered so far. In June, let's go up here. The Feds will start interest rate cuts in June. This is based on the majority of economists in the latest poll that was taken by Reuters. And this is to confirm that the inflation will be the Feds, they're waiting for more data so that they can confirm whether inflation is headed convincingly towards the 2% target that they have. So, but based on the speculators and the economists, it should be by June that this will be green lighted and will progress. So here we have the first indicator, because this will drive the liquidity part of it. And there's really nothing more to say about that. It's really self-explanatory. Once the cuts starts happening, like we experienced it earlier this week, last week, when on Monday, just based on the news alone that Switzerland and Thailand, and Mexico central banks already cut the interest rates, that already made the market skyrocket. So with the move, let's say early summer, hopefully in June, once the US Fed start cutting interest rates, we'll really see a big push in the market. It usually takes 6 weeks for the currency to enter the space, and then we'll really experience a solid bull run from there. Now, another aspect that we saw is tech, right? Like we saw here. It's liquidity that we spoke about, and now technology. Let's look at technology. there have been a major trend going on, and actually major trends going on here. One of them is AI, artificial intelligence. It took center stage in 2023, and it's even taken a major role, playing a major role now in 2024. Without going through the entire article, I just want to highlight certain things. So like we said, AI exploded late 2023, and we can witness the reaction since the beginning of 2024. In the business world, artificial intelligence isn't just a trend. Rather, it's a vital tool that is changing the world of marketing and the way of connecting with customers. So research shows that 9 out of 10 business leaders are getting ready to invest more in AI and machine learning, especially in marketing. So like we said, we've never experienced these two simultaneously. Usually it's always like last bull cycle was just liquidity. Now we're experiencing tech added to the mix this bull cycle. And one of them is AI. Now, I would like to just briefly go through these technologies, different ones, and look at what added value they'll bring into the economies. What usually really triggers bull cycles are efficiencies in the businesses, in traditional markets. And AI will help solve a lot of problems, especially in the efficiency area. So let's look at a few of them, like customization of enterprise, for example, okay? Because these will be game changers in the workforce. So let's look at just a few of them. So businesses are making AI systems customized to their needs. These systems, called generative AI, use the company's own data to give better, more personalized answers. We are often so fearful about AI, but if we really look at it, it's here to help humans, help the workforce to be just more efficient, more effective at things. So it's more like an added value than just something, a source of fear we should have. And it will boost the economy as well, as these companies and the workforce is more productive and can have a better output with the help of AI. So for example, a big store might use AI that's been trained on what customers like and what's important in different cultures. So this helps them talk to customers in a way that feels personal and relevant. There's so much data out there, and AIs and algorithms really help to cut to the chase and have like a detailed feedback where we have a better understanding of the customers and we can tailor to them more efficiently. And that's the whole idea. That's just one example. And then there are open source models. We know about open sources. So open source models are available for free and anyone can use it. And such large operations, combining these with their data to make the operations better and cheaper. Keep in mind, not everyone can afford large servers to really host all these data. It's very expensive to house this data. So that's why large institutions such as IBM and NASA, they came together, joined forces, worked together to make a big AI model using NASA's data about Earth. So this model helps researchers understand things like climate change, and it's available for everyone to use. So this is good that AI, some of them are open source, so businesses can use these and also improve and better their learning models, AI learning models as well. Another one is so-called API. These services are great because they are programs that work together much easily. And these connect and let different programs talk to each other. For instance, a shop could use AI tools to understand what customers want and manage their stock better. So this is more for inventory. So if you have like a store and for inventory management, AI works great, as it will tell you don't have to go and manually count your inventory. AIs will be able to assist you. You'll be more efficient. And this is what it's all about. So AI also a national priority. So many countries focus on AI because it's a big deal, let's face it. And it's like they did with space exploration. This push is leading to more research, which is good for science and economy. So even the EU, for example, is making rules that make AI more user-friendly and fair. So we see that also multimodal generative AI as well. So we see these are just different use cases for the AI, for the technology. So we're focusing on crypto, but there's so much more technology here as well. So I just wanted to highlight these items. I don't want to bore you with long text. These three numbers are key right here. So-called white-collar works include, white-collar works are like office jobs. So we see that through AI, the workforce is going to be transformed, like 66% of so-called office jobs. And this comes from the World Economic Forum, will be cut down by the help of AI, artificial intelligence. And 40% of all working hours will also be cut with the help of AI. So this means basically, if you have a 40-week hour, it will be cut, 40% of that will not be used. So that means that workforce, sadly, will be cut by that time. So it will make the companies to work more efficient, or it will help the workforce to be more productive. Either way you look at it. So the workforce will have to work less, but the output, the productivity will be more. And also here, 40% of enterprise applications will have AI built in by 2024. We're already in 2024. So a lot of enterprises, institutions are going to build in and add AI into their daily business operations. So this is just to verify that indeed businesses are going to implement this, and the workforce is going to be more productive. The output will be more efficient with the help of artificial intelligence. And this just verifies what added technology that we're about to experience. But it's not limited to AI. Let's look at something else. This is now biotechnology. Elon Musk's Neuralink Neuralink company had implanted a patient, and this patient now can already control a mouse with their thoughts alone. So this is now bioscience now, biotech, and this is incredible. So these are individuals that are not able to move their limbs, and now due to this Neuralink implant, this patient that was just implanted, like, what was it, a month ago? Let's read up. So less than a month after Neuralink founder Elon Musk announced that the company's brain-computer interface technology had been implanted in a human for the first time. So we're experiencing things that we've never experienced before, that didn't take place last bull cycle. So we looked at artificial intelligence. This is now biotech. We have implants being implanted in human beings which have handicapped, and now through their thoughts, they're able to move and navigate mouse and stuff, So this is great. This is real progress. So as we see here, I just want to highlight this. The study participant is already taking the first steps towards controlling a computer using only their mind. So currently they're able to use a desktop just using their thoughts alone, the mind, based on the neurochip. So these are the technologies that are coming and that are part of this bull cycle, of this liquidity cycle, that are just going to exponentially bring so much more liquidity and funds into the system. And all these things happen at the same time. So not just AI, but now we have biotech also entering. And now let's get into what we're into already. And this is blockchain, okay? So besides AI and biotechnology, of course, the blockchain technology is migrating traditional finance to blockchain. And $5 trillion is about to enter the space based on JP Morgan and Citibank. These are the two largest banks globally, and they are ready to start tokenizing assets on blockchain. So tokenization, real world assets, is the buzzword, and this is the big deal that is going on right now. And these tokenizations enable faster settlement times, lower costs for all these legacy banks. And like we said, the projection is that it will bring on $5 trillion in assets that can be tokenized on the blockchain over the next 5 years. So we just see how much liquidity is getting ready to be flooded into the market just by onboarding existing assets in the real world, in the traditional financial markets, and these are about to be onboarded on the blockchain. So this is massive for us. This is extremely massive. The financial stakes involved in this migration are substantial, with significant sums, this is it, with significant sums of money ultimately poised to make the move onto the blockchain platforms. So if we move forward, it's not just JP Morgan and Citibank that is into this. It's also Goldman Sachs and BNY Mellon. These are the other two investment banks, large banks within the US, and these are not just banks, asset managers are here as well, exchanges, and they all went through successful piloting stages, and they're about to onboard and explore also DeFi as well, using their markets. So all these DeFi, as DeFi continues to gain traction, traditional banks and brokerages are exploring ways to integrate these services into their offerings, attracting new customers and expanding their revenue streams. So these are just ways that we see that will drive in so much more liquidity and onboard so many more users onto the blockchain. So, and these migrations are already on the way. So it's not like these individuals, these institutions are already actively onboarding their traditional services, and they're already coming on. So with forward-thinking banks and brokerages leading the charge, as these institutions embrace blockchain technology, significant sums of money are expected to make the move onto the blockchain platforms, unlocking new opportunities for innovation, efficiency, and financial inclusion. So this is just confirming what we've just read here. Arthur Hayes, he's a macroeconomist, and these are things that he was saying, and we can't just take his word for it. We had to go and double check it and verify, and that's what we did. And we see here that indeed this is the case. We saw it with AI. We saw it here with biotech, with Elon Musk's Neuro company, with the implants. And now we see it with banks such as JP Morgan, Citibank, Goldman Sachs, and BNY Mellon. And now it goes even beyond. Now we have commodities. Diamonds arrive on a blockchain with new tokenized fund on Avalanche. So we see that now commodities are also entering the space. Guess what? When these real world assets and commodities enter the blockchain, they will have a need for a lot of liquidity. We'll need liquidity to be able to make these illiquid assets liquid. So there's just such a flood, a gate of liquidity that is about to enter the space. So the tokenization of real world assets, or placing traditional assets onto blockchain rails, is a growing trend in crypto, with global financial giants entering the space. So these are just some of the articles that I'm not going to go into details. However, I just want to highlight one thing here. So these security-backed tokens for Diamond, these have given eligibility for IRAs, which are retirement plans like pension plans, and available for institutional investors such as pension funds and endowments. So all the trusts, funds, the pension funds, institutional investors, retirement plans, these are all will be able to participate. And we know that pension funds, retirement funds, institutional investors and pension funds and trusts, endowments, these have the largest amount of funds. They are the largest funds. And when they can participate in real world assets such as Diamond that they're familiar with, this is going to be large. And as you see, it's a 1.2 trillion natural resource is available. So we're talking about 1.2 trillion that is added just through diamonds alone. And right now, as we speak, we're just sitting at 2.5 trillion market. So this is an added asset, commodity that is about to also, it's arrived already. It's arrived on chain already. Let's move on. Now we have gold as well. So HSBC is the Asia's largest bank, and it's already went live now for retail investors in Hong Kong. Okay, and they can claim bragging rights for being the first bank to create a blockchain-based real-world assets aimed at retail investors. So they have a gold token in place on the blockchain already, and it's being traded right now as a real-world asset, and it's being tokenized, and it can be traded. This is another, and gold is an illiquid asset, so this will also need liquidity as well. And we'll get to this as we progress. Let's move on. SWIFT, they're getting ready to launch a bunch of CBDCs and challenge the BRICS currency. As we know, SWIFT is a global messaging system, and they're planning to launch a new central bank digital currency. And they already made significant development in changing the financial landscape. SWIFT is an interchange of bank. This is how banks transfer funds globally. And they're also joining the digital currency area. And in the next 12 to 24 months, they're going to launch not just, they're going to launch this platform to enable nations to be using their CBDCs. Because as we know, even as you see these flags, the EU, the US, Japan, China already has one, Nigeria has one, Germany is working on theirs, France and Italy are working on theirs as well. These nations are working on their specific CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and SWIFT is launching and preparing the infrastructure for that. And within the next 12 to 24 months, it will be live. So we see so much progress and onboarding from traditional infrastructures entering the space. And like we saw here in this article, this just confirms that this bull cycle is different. It's not just based on liquidity alone, but actually the technology is boosting the liquidity even more, because now with all these real world assets and there's no liquidity in it, it will flood even more liquidity to the markets based on this. So this brings us to now the ETFs that we know. We know of these ETFs, right? And these ETFs have been such a success, it even surprised Larry Fink himself. Larry Fink is the founder and CEO, one of the co-founders and CEO of Blackrock. And what is he saying here? Okay, so he says he was surprised how much Bitcoin has gone up because of the high demand. And what did they come here to do? We are creating now a market that has what? More liquidity. So this is what we've been always talking about, how illiquid Bitcoin is. And with the ETFs, it allows Bitcoin to finally be liquid. So this is what they came here to do, to create a market of digital assets that are more liquid than they used to be. And let's not take his word for it. These are receipts for this. So according to the Blocks Bitcoin ETF data page, IBIT is BlackRock's ETF, spot Bitcoin ETF fund. It has accumulated, it's actually 17 now, 17 billion. It's accumulated 17 billion so far in assets under management. This is just BlackRock alone. And this is now the interesting part. The trading volume of this specific ETF covers 40% of the trading volume. So it's responsible for 40% of all daily trading volumes for all ETFs that are on the market. This is how liquid this fund is. Let's look at it in more details. So currently, all ETFs combined, mainly from US, they're almost closing in on 5% of the total supply. And they're very liquid. They're sitting at 72 billion assets under management. That's how liquid they are. And like we always say, if you're liquid, your trading volume also goes up. It goes hand in hand. Let's look at this. This is a cumulative spot Bitcoin ETF volume. And as the liquidity keeps rising, as we see here, we see that this chart just goes up. And based on last number, we're looking at 174 billion in daily volume, just one day alone. And let me refresh it. We're at 177 now, 177 billion just in one day volume alone, ETFs. And this is just after 7 weeks, 8 weeks. And if we look at Bitcoin, we're looking at 29 billion in volume after 15 years. So we just see that you really see the corresponding. If you see the liquidity of 1 billion, 1.3 billion, you see that the corresponding volume is also not as much. But if you have 72 billion in liquidity, obviously your volume hits 177, close to 178 billion in volume. And this is how these ETFs issuers make money. This is why they are so keen on Bitcoin ETFs. They don't care about our financial freedom, being our own banks, and all that. As a matter of fact, they're intercepting all the liquidity from entering the markets. So, but because, like Larry said here, they are here to create a market that is more liquid, because the Bitcoin market is not liquid at all. It's illiquid. So ETFs are taking over the liquidity that would otherwise enter the space. And this is also the reason why you see that this Bitcoin bull run is breeding millionaire whales at a slower pace, because the interception. The last bull cycle, it was double. Currently, it's 2,000 millionaires per wallet, but the last bull cycle, there were much more. Okay, so even though we hit all-time high as far as Bitcoin price is concerned, it's at a slower rate than 2020-2021 uptrend, which was the last bull cycle. Is because these ETFs are literally intercepting the liquidity that would otherwise get to Bitcoin. And this happens, this is what these ETFs are here to do. And Larry is telling us here, they're here to have a more liquid market off-chain, because ETFs are not on the blockchain. ETFs are in the traditional markets. So all these volume, all these assets under management, and all this volume that we just looked at, liquidity at 72 billion should have been in the real. Actually, if Bitcoin was doing what it needs to do, this 72 billion would be added right here. And the 180 million in volume that we see here should have been right here, right? But the reality is that these Wall Street institutions understand the efficiency. They're here to be more efficient. They're here to, and you do that by providing liquidity, accumulating liquidity, and bring in trading volume. This is how you do it. Now, also, this is now, because of all of this that we discussed all these technologies that are coming in, artificial intelligence that is coming in. We looked at biotech, Neuralink. We looked at Goldman Sachs and all these institutions and banks that want to do real world assets on the blockchain. We looked at commodities such as diamond and gold. All these need liquidity. And this is why BlackRock came with their tokenized treasury fund known as Biddle. And within a week, they already put together $250 million, 245 million in just 1 week. The token they had just launched on Ethereum blockchain last week, it's already sitting at 245 million. And this fund is specifically for tokenized assets. And they're also using treasury bills, which are US debts. They are tokenizing US treasury bills. So this is what they are actually tokenizing. So the market cap on-chain US Treasury funds tagged new all-time highs. So it already hit all-time highs within a week. So their purpose here is to serve as the liquidity providers for all of these new technologies that are on-chain. They will need liquidity. And BlackRock already went ahead and is preparing this fund to be able to provide liquidity for all these new real-world assets that are being onboarded on-chain. They're in the business of providing liquidity. If you're in the business of providing liquidity, it's extremely lucrative. So they're going a step ahead of everyone, and they're preparing a fund which they buy treasury bills, which is US debt, and earn significant amounts of interest on those treasury bills. They're tokenizing it, making it accessible to retailers such as you and me, and also institutions. But they will use these funds, this liquidity, to back all these new technology, new real-world assets that we just looked at. This is what's going on right now. This is why this fund was developed in the first place. And just to look at some numbers here, it's the on-chain, they already have 245 million put together. And there's only 7 wallets. So this is just the beginning. And it already accumulates only 7 wallets present, and it's already at $250 million. So imagine the growth within a month, by the end of the year, this fund is about to really be large. Nonetheless, within a week, it's already ranked as the second largest tokenized US Treasury fund, only behind Franklin Templeton. And this fund of Franklin Templeton has been around since 11 months. And it's at 260 million. So it's only 100 million behind the one that has been around for almost a year within a week. So BlackRock is not playing around. They're here to really dominate liquidity. And if you really control the liquidity of an asset class, which is the digital currency class, which is the blockchain technology, then you basically dominate the space. And obviously this is what they're trying to do, and they're successful at it. They're really doing this successfully. This is just to highlight the importance of liquidity, how much liquidity is about to enter the space. And unfortunately, it comes from the traditional market, and they want to keep it within themselves. Because once they give away this liquidity and it enters DeFi and the blockchain, they'll lose out on all this. And this is why they're taking full control, and they're stalling with cutting interest rates and all of that, because they understand that once the interest rates are cut and the fiat currency is flooding the markets, retailers such as you and me will jump on these cryptocurrencies and ensure that we position ourselves. So one thing I want to highlight here, amongst all asset classes, and despite all the inefficiencies that Bitcoin has, nonetheless, it outpaces treasury bills, which is US debt, as far as being the best investment class, the one that outperforms every asset class, such as gold, real estate, commodities, the stock market, and US treasury bills. Bitcoin outperforms all of them. It's the best performing asset class in the industry. It outperforms even the tech industry's stock market. So with this said, once, of course, all this liquidity enters the market, everybody will be flooding into cryptocurrencies. And because they understand that Bitcoin is already sitting at 1.3 trillion market cap, they'll be seeking lower market cap tokens, community tokens, that have more room for growth. And this is why you see all these community tokens on Solana, on Avalanche, and also on Base and other blockchains, layer 2 blockchains, that are really taken off already. Because communities, investors, retailers, they don't want to come for the big cryptocurrencies. They're coming for smaller market caps, community tokens that have more growth. And this is what's getting ready to happen. So with that said, many people complain about Ethereum because of two things. It's mainly because the fees, the gas fees, right? The gas fees are just extremely high. However, one thing I just want to highlight here is that since the upgrade, significantly, the price has really lowered. We can really see the price change as well. And another thing, and this is why also BlackRock chose to launch their fund that we just looked at here. They launched their fund, and this fund is launched on, yes, this fund right here that they launched, that we saw here, the tokenized treasury bill, this fund is launched on Ethereum. And this is the reason why. If you look at the percentage, I'll zoom in as much as I can. Out of the 96 billion in liquidity, 57% of it, almost, which is over 52 billion, is just on the Ethereum blockchain alone. So even if you combine all the blockchains together, which is Binance, Tron, Polygon, Solana, Avalanche, every other major blockchain, if you combine them all together and put their liquidity together, it doesn't come anywhere close to Ethereum's. So Ethereum still has the most liquidity in the space and the most applications in the space as well. Let's look at that. If you look at as far as applications, let's look at chains. Ethereum has over 1,000 different applications on the blockchain. The second one has 30 applications. So you see that, and then the liquidity, like we see here, is over 52 billion in liquidity that is on the Ethereum blockchain. The second has 10, so 5 times less. Binance has 10 times less, and Solana has 12, 13 times less liquidity on the chain. So this is why you see large institutions like even JP Morgan, they launched their token on Ethereum as well. And BlackRock also, they launched their fund on Ethereum as well. This is because the security, this is because the applications and the liquidity is out there, and it's mostly on Ethereum. And they're working on the lowering of the gas fees. And since the upgrade, we can really see a significant lowering of the fees on chain as well. And not only that, what makes Ethereum so different as well is that it is deflationary, and the more transactions it has, the more tokens it bans. So it's an extremely inflationary token. And it's very interesting also for institutions because you can stake it. It's based on proof of stake, and it gives you it gives you distributions while you stake and help secure the platform. And because currently it bans more than it issues, it makes it deflationary. So this is very attractive. And these are just the points that make the Ethereum blockchain so much more attractive. It has the most liquidity, it has the most applications on chain, and it is the only blockchain currently that ties its users, which is its transactions directly to its deflationary aspects. And it's the only blockchain that does that right now, that has the mechanism directly tied to its transactions. This makes Ethereum extremely attractive, and not just for institutions, but of course for us as retailers as well. And why am I highlighting this? Because all 3 tokens are built and deployed on the Ethereum blockchain. So this is good for us as a community, as an ecosystem, is that we're on a blockchain that BlackRock chose. It's number 1 choice for BlackRock and JP Morgan as well. They launched their tokens on Ethereum blockchain as well. It's a blockchain with the most liquidity already, and so much more liquidity is about to come onto the Ethereum blockchain, like we saw here, 5 trillion just based on tokenized assets alone. And then we looked at diamonds here. This is 1.2 trillion that is also about to enter the space on the Ethereum blockchain, and so on and so forth. We saw tokenized gold as well. This is on a Ethereum layer 2 Avalanche blockchain as well, and Avalanche is also using Ethereum as gas fee, so it's good for Ethereum as well. So all these things that we see, and Swift doing the same thing, and they're building already on Ethereum as well. So all these infrastructures are being built on top of Ethereum, and this will boost our tokens as well, because the more liquidity that enters the Ethereum blockchain, it directly affects us as well. And all of these items that we just mentioned are based on 3 things, okay? They're here to minimize the inflationary pressure. So inflation has been a major key. Let's go back to this. We all know this by now, this chart by now. We know that we're in a fiat system that is extremely inflationary, that is debt driven, and that you lose your purchasing power on a daily basis based on the inflation rate. So this causes this fiat monetary system to be flawed and rigged. And like we discussed in our last community event, this causes us to be indebted and disqualifies us to be playing the game that the 1% plays. To play that game, you have to sit on the table and you'll be able to play that game, but you're disqualified if you're in debt. If you're indebted, you can't play that game. You need to have collateral, you need to have liquidity, and you need to have cash flow. And this current system doesn't give us that. It literally pushes us to be indebted. In order to succeed or move forward in life, you have to take on debt. And this is what the monetary system is all about. And this is what the governments are doing to trigger the market, to trigger the bull run. They have to take on more debts, and they have to inflate the market by printing more money out of thin air. And this will reduce the purchasing power, diminish the purchasing power. And this is the current fiat system that we don't want. So what we want is this. We want to be able to minimize inflation pressure. And our objective is to achieve price stability. And by minimizing inflation pressure, this means we are at least deflationary, if not scarce. So deflationary aspects are very important, and scarcity takes it to the next level. The next is to achieve price stability. How do you achieve price stability? Is by liquidity. And Larry Fink has been doing this since he came in, and he's saying here, we are creating now a market that has more liquidity than it ever had, and this is what they're doing. This is what smart money is doing. This is what Wall Street is bringing. They're bringing in liquidity. They're teaching us. We've been around for 15 years in the space, but we still don't get it, that the power is in the liquidity. You need to have liquidity. And once you have liquidity, along comes the volume. And if you have the volume, and this is what Ethereum is doing, you become deflationary, right? And this is very important. The difference between us and Ethereum is we also tie retention of liquidity and our incentives in USDC also directly to the transactions. And this is how it's supposed to be. So, and the last thing is minimizing circulating supply. This is achieved by staking. So keep in mind, minimize inflationary pressure, achieve price stability, and minimize circulating supply. This is the key to success. This is what we need now, because now that we understand that this will be the most epic bull cycle ever in the space, based on liquidity and the technology, these two items collide, and we see large institutions, which are mainly banks, asset managers, and they're issuing out real world assets that are now open for IRAs, which are institutional investors such as pension funds and endowments. Large liquidity amounts are about to enter the space. We're looking at 1.2 trillion just on diamond commodity alone. Gold will be just as much, even more. We have infrastructure such as SWIFT getting involved that will build the infrastructure also on Ethereum platform as well. And this is important to understand. So keep in mind, we have to minimize inflation. We have to achieve price stability and minimize circulating supply. So if we go to BULLRUN and just go on Etherscan, these items, keep in mind, we just discussed minimizing inflationary pressure, right? How are we doing that? Let's go one by one. How we minimize inflationary pressure is by reducing our total supply. So even if we refresh, let me refresh here. We are down from 1 million. We started with 1 million in total supply. If we come down here, we started with 1 million in total supply. And what we need to do is to succeed or to maximize this opportunity that we have with all this liquidity entering the space and experiencing this epic bull cycle. We need to, first of all, have an ecosystem that minimizes inflationary pressure. How do we do that? We started with 1 million, and you can view this on Etherscan. Now we're down to 971,000 tokens. That's how we address this. We are minimizing inflationary pressure. We're doing the same thing with our Survivor token. Survivor token, if you look at wallet number 2 right here, that is at 6%. This is a ban wallet. These are all the tokens that have been banned and removed from circulation. So if you look at Survivor, the second largest wallet, only behind the liquidity pool, is the dead wallet. And this is what you want to see in a project. Another thing is you want to have one that has low market cap. So this combination of the largest wallet only behind liquidity pool being the dead wallet, the ban wallet, this is what you want to see. If we look at Killer Whale, same thing. If we do refresh, last time we had this, we checked the ban wallet was at 7th place. Now it's already up here at 4th. This is a dead wallet right here. It's closing in on 4%. These are tokens that are banned and removed from circulating supply, and this wallet has been blacklisted and nobody has access to it. So these tokens are gone for good. They'll never see the daylight or the circulation again. So as you see, it's working its way up, just like with Survivor, to become the top wallet. And these are the type, this is what we say here. You have to minimize inflationary pressure. All 3 tokens that we have within our ecosystem does exactly that. So what's next? Achieve price stability. How do you achieve price stability? You need liquidity. You need to have mechanisms in your ecosystem that retain liquidity. And if we come here, the way we do that is by 3 ways with BULLRUN. First of all, we have a 6% buy and sell tax, and we retain half of those taxes, which is 3%, just to retain liquidity. This is how we do this. So we retain liquidity, and liquidity retention we achieve price stability. If you have liquidity, you achieve price stability. So besides the obvious, which is using taxes, buy and sell, we also have 10% put aside that we stake. And once we stake these, this is also how we can add liquidity, by using the USDC distributions to add liquidity to it. That's the second way. Third way is through our staking boosters. If you stake your BRL tokens, you're only limited to 70% of your USDC distributions. But if you stake a maximum of 5 boosters, you get 100% of your USDC distributions. And the revenue generated from these NFT boosters are added into the liquidity pool. So these are the 3 ways how we add liquidity into the liquidity pool. And this is how we solve this is how we achieve price stability. What we did with the Survivor and Killer Whale, since they have the same contract, we did the same thing. And with them, by placing the way what we did with Survivor and Killer Whale is very unique. By placing 100% of the supply in the liquidity pool, this and having this burning mechanism, like we said, you see here, the burn wallet is 6%. So because we placed 100% of the supply in the liquidity pool, and now the liquidity pool is being drained with every trade, with every buy and sell, 1% goes to this burn wallet. And it's currently the top wallet, just behind the liquidity pool. So tokens, Survivor tokens and Killer Whale tokens are being drained from the liquidity pool and added into this dead wallet. And this helps the token to not just be deflationary, but also retain more and more liquidity. And this is how we achieve stability. Now, the final one is minimizing circulating supply, right? And since we are with Survivor here, how are we minimizing circulating supply? By having our circulation removed from circulation, by banning them, right? So this is how we do it. We ban tokens from circulation and putting it in a blacklisted wallet, and it's the top wallet, just behind the liquidity pool. Same with Killer Whale. Its burn wallet is sitting at number 4 right now, and it's climbing its way up. It's closing in on 4%, banned and removed from circulation. This is how you do it. And if we go to BULLRUN, we take it a step further. It's actually 58.5% right now that is removed from circulation. So all of this supply, which represents almost 59% of the circulating of total supply, is removed from circulation through staking. This wallet right here is a smart contract. This is a staking contract. And if we click on it, it will take us to that staking contract. And as you see here, this is a staking contract. What it does, it accumulates USDC for those who stake, and it gives you USDC distributions as you stake these tokens. So this is how we address this. We minimize circulating supply through our staking distributions, and in the case through our staking platform, and in the case of Survivor and Killer Whale, we do that through the banning also, removing them from circulation using the banning mechanism that we have. So this is how we are minimizing inflationary pressure. We are achieving price stability by adding liquidity, and we're minimizing circulating supply by banning these tokens and removing them from circulation. And in our case of BULLRUN, we're doing it even twice. We are not just banning tokens and reducing our total supply, but we also put aside almost 59% and removed these tokens from circulating supply. So based on what's needed to be done here to achieve or take the best opportunity using this epic bull cycle that we're about to experience, these are the 3 items you need to cover. And all 3 of our tokens, of our community tokens, are doing these in spades, all 3 of them. We minimize inflationary pressure, we achieve price stability, and we minimize circulating supply. The complete opposite of our current fiat monetary system, which is adding inflation, reduces purchasing power, and also it's debt driven as well. And like we discussed in our last community event, this system is here to lock you in this system, and you can't work your way out. And our ecosystem does the complete opposite. Because like we said last time in our community event, if you go to a bank right now, to your local bank, they'll ask you 4 questions. The first question will be, do you have assets? Do you have collateral? Second question will be, do you have any liquidity? Do you have savings put aside? Third is, do you have any cash flow? Do you have a job, steady income? And then the fourth question is, how much debt do you have? And usually that fourth question disqualifies you right away, because obviously you have debts, either through your credit cards, through your student loans, through your mortgage, through your car note or lease, one way or the other. Once you play by this system that is rigged and is against the 99%, you are in debt. And once you're in debt, you can't play the game, because once you are indebted, you're disqualified. So this is why we focus here on liquidity. We focus here on collateral. We focus here on cash flow in the form of USDC distributions. So we created an ecosystem that qualifies you, equips you, and educates you about how the game is played, how the industry works, how finance works, and empowers you to be part of this game that is played by the 1%. So it gives you collateral, and collateral is given by a scarce commodity keeps decreasing, and as you see here, and that keeps accumulating banned tokens and removing them from circulating supply. And also, by retaining liquidity, you need a token, an ecosystem that is liquid, because you need to be able to have enough liquidity so that whenever you need it, you can exit your position anytime. And then you also need cash flow. You need to have steady distributions that are coming out for you. So if you have, you're qualified. You don't have debts because this is liquidity driven. So, but you have collateral, which is the BRL token. You have liquidity, right, out of it. And then you have the distributions. You're qualified. And this is the type of system that we developed for average users and for the 99% like you and myself. And this is in contrast to our flawed monetary system that is rigged and that wants to take all the power and impoverish the 99% and keep us enslaved by keeping us indebted. And remember, the most powerful force in the world, it's the compounding effect. And the last thing you want is the compounding effect to work against you, especially if it comes to debts. Because the compounding effect, you can't pay it back. And this is why you see the US at 34 trillion and the numbers keeps increasing, and they'll be adding even more debts. Actually, every 100 days, there is $1 trillion more debts added. So there's no way out. And if you fall into this trap, you'll never come out of debt. We will never get out. This is why we need a whole different shift, a whole different monetary system that enables us, that is using the new digital blockchain technology that works for you, the community, and not against you. And this is what we're all about. And this is the added value that we bring into this blockchain industry. And back to the topic today. Now that we understand that we need to embrace this epic bull run that is about to, that we are about to experience, don't you think you want to be part of an ecosystem that covers all of this, that minimizes inflation, that achieves price stability through liquidity, and that is minimizing the circulating supply? This is the opposite of our current system. So are you part of the problem or are you part of the solution? And you want to definitely be part of the solution, right? You want to be part of an ecosystem that gives you the best option and the opportunity that empowers you to take full advantage of this epic bull run that we're about to experience. So this is what this session was about, to highlight and to see the difference of this bull cycle compared to the last bull cycle. It's very, very important. that we understand that. And so that we can be prepared and really take advantage of this epic event that we're about to experience. And let me close with this. And let me set this up first. I like us to look at this community. Let me set this up. And I want to close with this. Let me share my screen. Let me change my screen again, community. Bear with me. And this is really what I would like to close with. Keep in mind that we only have the opportunity to do this once. And like we saw, Wall Street entered the space now. And BlackRock is busy accumulating liquidity and preparing a whole dedicated fund on the Ethereum blockchain to serve as liquidity for all these tokenized commodities, be it diamonds, be it tokenized assets, be it gold, be it real estate, biotechnology, artificial intelligence. All these items will need liquidity. And you see how BlackRock is busy starting up a fund, and the minimum investment is 5 million. So it's obviously not for your average Joe or average Jane. It's for the 1%. And Wall Street understands the power of liquidity. If you want to control an asset, all you need to do is take over the liquidity, the money supply, take over. And that's what they did with the largest asset, which is Bitcoin right now. So we need to understand that in order to go beyond this bull cycle, because after every bull cycle comes another bear market. And for bull cycle to be triggered, it needs abundance liquidity. This is why everyone is holding their breath, waiting for interest rate cuts, which started last week by the Central Bank of Mexico and the Central Bank of Switzerland. Others are about to also start cutting interest rates, such as Bank of England, European Central Bank. They are working on starting to cut as well. And the US is next. They are also about to start cutting. And everybody's looking up to them because they are the global reserve currency. And whatever the US does affects the rest of the globe. So with this in mind, you need to ask yourself a question. After this cycle, there won't be another liquidity event such as this, because now with all this liquidity being flooded into the market this specific cycle, these upside swings like we saw last year that put over 24 million individuals into retirement, we won't see those type of skyrockets again, because there will be so much liquidity now in the market. We'll be hitting probably 20, 30, 40 trillion in market cap, that we won't experience these type of massive bull cycles again. Already, I have to show you this. I have to share this with you. Already, you see already we're experiencing a slower rate of so-called wallet data tracked Kaiko show slower growth in the on-chain Bitcoin whales or millionaires than the last cycle. And this is because the BTC, like the Bitcoin ETFs, right? This shows that Wall Street embraced the long-awaited spot exchange ETFs. And now the liquidity is being intercepted by all these ETFs. So already we see that even though we hit all-time highs, we're hitting numbers of the last bull cycle, we still don't see the same effect yet. But primarily because the liquidity has not entered the space yet, And secondly, because these ETFs are intercepting all the liquidity that was supposed to actually hit the blockchain. And we see here, he's telling us we are here to create a market that has more liquidity. So then they understand that this Bitcoin market is illiquid. And this is why they even went ahead and created this tokenized treasury fund. Okay, that within the first week already has so much liquidity in it. So we can't stress this enough. Our largest asset barely has any liquidity, 1 billion in liquidity. Whereas after 15 years, whereas within 7 weeks, 8 weeks, they already accumulated 72 billion. So they have 72 times more liquidity within 7 weeks. Actually, 11 weeks, I have to say, 11 weeks. They have 72 times more liquidity in only 11 weeks than Bitcoin has in 15 years. And they're still building more funds to add even more liquidity. So you see their plan is to intercept liquidity to keep it from entering the blockchain. And this effect is seen because this Bitcoin bull run is breeding millionaire whales at a slower pace. This is because the ETFs that came in, the liquidity is not entering the space, it's being intercepted. So this is being seen. This is why when we say we need to focus on liquidity, there's a reason why we say that. There's a reason why, because the ones with the liquidity are the ones with the high volume. So the more liquidity you can manage to accumulate out of this massive bull cycle that we're about to experience will come out with higher volume. And because our ecosystem is efficient and we tie everything, like we said, this is what we're tying it. We're tying inflation pressure, achieving price stability, and minimizing circulating supply. All of that is directly tied to our ecosystem, our mechanism. This is how we tie our transactions directly to minimizing inflation by burning tokens. We started with 1 million, like we said. We're bringing price stability by accumulating accumulating liquidity. And then we're incentivizing also, and this is the third part, by removing, minimizing circulating supply. We're doing that by incentivizing the stakers with USDC distributions so that they can remove the tokens from circulation by opting to stake. And this is why you see such a high staking percentage of individuals. And once we have the volume going on, we have the liquidity, and we have that flywheel effect, that positive flywheel effect, and we start having a million, 10 million, 100 million in volume, and we have that consistency because the high liquidity. And as we see here, liquidity and volume goes hand in hand. You see this chart going up, these are volume based on how much liquidity you accumulate. And the more liquidity they've been accumulating, the higher the volume you see here. It's up to 178 now, billion a day. This is way more than what we see Bitcoin has right now at 29 billion. And also, if you look at this number, let's look at this number. You see the 72 billion. This is liquidity. So if this was market cap, 72 billion, and we come here to coin market cap, 72 billion in market cap, this would put ETFs right at number 6 right now. They'll be in the top 6 within 11 weeks at 72 billion. This is just to show you how efficient it is if you focus on retaining liquidity. And if you look at their volume, they have 178 billion in volume right here. 178 billion in volume. Community, I want to show you something. There is not even US Tether has that. US Tether is sitting at 75 billion right now. So it literally has more than double what even the most liquid cryptocurrency, which is a stable coin, has. So these ETFs are more liquid than the top 5 volume. I mean, have a more higher trading volume. If you take Solana, Binance, Tether, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, add all the trading volume together, you don't even get close to what this ETF's daily volume is. You don't even get half of it. And this just shows you that the power of liquidity. If you're liquid, you get the highest transactions, highest trade volume. And ETFs within 11 weeks combined have more volume, trading volume, than the top 5. You can even add top 10. Let's put all 10 of them in there. You still can't reach what ETFs have in one day, trading volume. If you take the top 10 cryptocurrencies in the space, they don't have enough trading volume like the ETFs have. Why? Because of their liquidity. And if you take the liquidity and put them as market cap, they'll be sitting at as the 6th largest cryptocurrency in the space right now within 11 weeks. So let's see what will happen within 6 months or by the end of the year. They'll probably flip Bitcoin. They'll be on the top. And this is what we say: if you're efficient, you can achieve a lot of things. And that's needed to be done. And that's all I wanted to show you, community. That's all I wanted to just add and show you. We have Killer Whale is out, community, I see. Let me get back to you. And as we're closing and going through the questions, let's start interacting with the tweets. Killer Whale is out already, community. Let's engage. And let me go through your questions. Let me see if you have any feedbacks. Let's go through this together. Okay, let me see what you have here. I see Queen Patricia is here as well. Welcome, Queen Patricia. She says, good evening, family. I'm happy to be here again to be enriched. Thank you, Steve, for your dedication. It's life-changing. Thank you, too, for participating, Queen Patricia. You're very, very much appreciated. It's an honor having you here with us. Queen Val says, let's hit the like button. It will help with the algorithm, as we know. It will spread the video out so that many can interact with it. We have my brother Abdullah here as well, says warm greetings to you all. And Survivor is out as well. So Killer Whale is out. Survivor is out as well, community. And we have Queen Latte here as well, saying hello, family. So glad to be part of the audience as we are being taught by none other than our King Steve. Just a reminder, family, we are so privileged to be part of this unique project. Very well said, Queen Latte. It's always a pleasure having you in the community and seeing in the community. You are very, very much appreciated. And very well said. We are really early in this stage, and we are really part of something beautiful. And after this cycle, we need to really take advantage of this, because we don't know what's going to happen after this cycle. We'll definitely not experience another liquidity rush like the one we are about to experience. And like today's session highlighted and showed us, is that this is once in a generation opportunity that we can be participating in this wealth distributing event and wealth generating event. And all these technologies coming at the same time: biotech, artificial intelligence, the blockchain technology, all kinds of infrastructures, commodities, all this liquidity is about to enter the space. So we need to take full advantage of this. But Glenn says the same thing. Let's hit the like button. Queen Lati says, in this unique project, financial freedom and empowerment. My brother Glenn says, hello, Queen Lati. Yes, you are correct, and hope all is ready for this coming bull run and have their tokens that they want to invest into within the bull run life ecosystem. Absolutely. Queen Lati says, one thing I have learned in this industry, crypto language is too technical, and well, when mixed with financial and audit language, rather sit back and listen attentively to the best ever teacher. This is why we have these community events, or this is why we have these daily Zoom meetings, that we can break things down even further. You know, if you have any questions and you need more clarifications, this is this is how we do that. These are how we use the opportunities to clarify things more. You know, we also have to really use these opportunities that we have, because I didn't have the opportunity to be part of an ecosystem or a community where I can just ask questions and, you know, be guided. I had to do everything on my own. I had to do my own research and everything. But here we have a community with amazing individuals, amazing community leaders such as yourself, Queen Lati, that really have a good understanding that will help to teach others as well that are entering the space. So this is definitely great. Wow, my great uncle George, nice to see you here as well. Thank you for participating. Greetings to all BULLRUN family. Bravo, Steve, for your deeply enlightened awareness. And the eloquency with which you deliver. We are fastening our seatbelts for the soon-to-come epic bull run. Very well said, Uncle George. It's very true. This is a beautiful opportunity that we have as a community to really take advantage of this, and we have the platform to go with it that really is sustainable and will go beyond, you know, this bull cycle. And especially as we are retaining all the liquidity, burning tokens, and accumulating USDC distributions. Once the music stops and the liquidity starts being drained out of the system, out of the industry, we will have enough to go and continue our run. And this is really when we'll be set apart from the rest, because usually after a boom cycle comes a bust cycle. And that's when usually cryptocurrencies lose between 80%, like last time Bitcoin did, up to 99%, you know, of liquidity, because there is no sustainability. There is no incentives for the stakers or the holders. There were not tokens being banned. There was no liquidity being retained. So all of that will set us apart and will stand out. And that's the beautiful thing. We are here for the long run, and that's how it should be. I see Queen Lati says the most epic bull cycle in history will be made. How grateful we are, family, to be part of this history. I am so thrilled and enthusiastic. Big up to our developers. Such a pleasure. We are all in this together. Like we said, we don't have to fight individually. We work together as a unit, as a community, and this makes everything so much easier. Brother Glenn says here, I'm just saying this is the time to get your bags set and get ready for not just this bull run, but every bull run after this one that will be able to trigger at any moment with this ecosystem. Absolutely. And community, the killer whale is out, like we said. Killer whale is out, the tweet. A survivor is out as well. And the bull run is out as well. So we have all of them out now. and let's ensure that we engage with them. It's very important. Those who made it happen, it's the least we can do. We need to engage with these, and this is day 73, community. That's a long time. So I want to commend all of you for all the extra effort you put in and your consistency. My great brother Theo says, man, this was another fire life, my great brother. Thank you so much for all the work and dedication that you continue to bless the community with. Thanks again for everything. Thanks goes right back to you, community, and you, my great brother Theo. You make this a success. You made this another success as we are completing day 73 of our Twitter challenge. And as we are going through this session today, this community event, you just showing up and participating in this event is a great accomplishment. And I hope you have a great takeaway from today's session. Keep in mind the topic was to embrace the most epic bull run yet. We always say that, but today we had to highlight and underscore how that will take place and what's different between this cycle and the last one. And I hope this painted a bigger picture. You have a better idea, better understanding of how this is a just much more massive bull cycle that we're about to experience. And as far as all-time high, we already surpassed last bull run's all-time high, Bitcoin's all-time high by far. So community, this is the session for today. Like we always say, we want to keep things to the point for those that will be listening. I want to take the opportunity to thank all of you for being so consistent, for all the participation that you put in, for all those like Queen Goliba, Queen Sally, Queen Martha, Queen Patricia, Queen Grace. These are queens that are always on Zoom as well to help, to assist with all these, and Queen Margaret, of course, as well. We have Queen Ndumi is also there oftentimes, and we have so many more. Please forgive me if I didn't mention your name, but you all very much appreciated for always participating. And of course, Queen Val is also there. Queen Lati is always there as well. So you're all very much appreciated. And of course, our kings as well, our great brothers, Theo, Queen Thembi, amazing community leaders as well. We have my brother Glenn, brother Demo, and brother Abdullah. So we have great Crypto Riser, of course, as well, with the banners. We have an amazing community that is putting so much effort. And thank you all for making this a success. Another beautiful day, another day 73 behind us. We have 16 days more to go to complete this challenge. And our community, for today's session, I want to thank you for showing up, taking your time out of your day, and to be part of this session today. I hope this session was able to inform you, educate, and inspire you, community. And I had fun, like I always have with you. I enjoy these dialogues. I'm looking forward to Saturday when we have our VC. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow, day 74, as we're closing in on day 90. Again, this will be the most epic bull run yet. Let's make the best out of it. We have the ecosystem that goes along with it. And this ecosystem was developed to go above and beyond this bull cycle. All we need is 30 days. That's it. 30 days of massive liquidity entering, and we'll have our snowball, our avalanche running. We'll have this machinery going, and since it has a positive flywheel effect, nothing will be able to stop it because it has a positive feedback loop. And this is what we need to just get this running. We've never been through a bull run, so this will be our first bull run to go through. And this cycle is the perfect timing for it because it's the most liquid. It will be the largest bull run yet. And we are ready for it. And let's keep our energy high. Let's maintain the consistency, community. Let's keep up the amazing effort that we put in on a daily basis. And we'll achieve whatever we aim to achieve, because success is literally all we know. With that said, community, I want to thank you all very much. And I want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your week. You're all very, very much appreciated. And I want to wish you and yours a wonderful rest of your day, evening, night. and let's see again tomorrow. With that said, bye-bye, everyone, and thank you for showing up. Thank you for participating in this community event again, and thank you for the day, making day 73 a success. With that said, bye-bye, everyone, and let's talk again soon.